So this gentleman who seems to be Hispanic, I think he is, but nevertheless, he thinks that black Americans have some sort of power here in America. Check it out.
Thing I've noticed is that Black Americans have obtained a lot more power in the United States. They've been introduced into institutionalized areas and are becoming part of the system. And that's a really good thing. However, I do think the Black community needs to discuss what it means to be Black in a position of power. Because at one point in time, there were people like Malcolm X who wanted to tear the system down. And now Black Americans are faced with a choice of upholding certain institutional norms, which may have held them back in the past. However, they're not being impacted now. So it will be interesting to see how this progresses, and it's an interesting historical shift in the United States. Yeah.
So as you saw there, he was like, now that, I guess black Americans are getting some power here in America, and we're getting into some institutions and, things like that. Are we going to uphold the same system that Malcolm X was trying to tear down? So basically, he wanted to know what we were going to do with the power that we have. And I'm confused. Honestly, I am. Because I'm like, first of all, sir, what power are you talking about? You say black power. Black Americans don't have no power here in America. Now, I think you're more than likely talking about the black politicians that look like they have power, but they don't have any power either because they're chosen. They're the chosen ones to tap dance for the institutions and the systems that you talk about. But if you want to talk about the black politicians, they don't help us as black Americans. In fact, they help people who look like you more. So I don't understand why you're feeling a way about this so-called black power. The black power that you think of, they're helping you. Look around everywhere. You can see Jasmine Crockett crying on television, due to the ICE raids that happened there in Minnesota where a white woman had her life taken from her by an ICE agent. You can see Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, running around chasing ICE out of the park, and she's very pro-immigrant. You can see Assemblyman Isaac Bryan also there in Los Angeles, California. He's romping and stomping for immigration and illegal immigration. Let's just keep it a buck, right? You don't see those people saying anything specifically about black Americans. So when you say black power, I'm confused. Now, do black Americans have black power? Yeah. We just right now aren't using it right, but we're getting to it, right? We're having those conversations, but we don't want black power per se over everybody else. That's what y'all want. Y'all want power so you can wield it over everybody else, especially black Americans, because everybody, whether they white, brown, yellow, whatever, they've tried to wield power over black Americans in every way, shape, and form, especially financially. And then when y'all get into power, y'all don't help black Americans, you help yourself. But you know what? I'm not mad at that because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help yourself. So when you talk about now that we are in positions of power in these institutions, are we going to uphold the institutions? Listen, the institutions never belong to us. In fact, the institutions that you speak of harmed, I should say, and harm us the most. So again, sir, maybe you just kind of need to go do a little bit more research about this black power that you talk about. But something else tells me you're talking about that a lot of black Americans aren't getting out in them streets, right? Now, that is a very powerful thing to see. Black Americans finally sitting down. Because people like yourself and, other people, y'all are used to black Americans getting out there, putting a cape on and going to help everybody else, right? We go help everybody put out the flames and they're burning buildings as ours are, they're burning to the ground. So y'all used to that. Y'all not used to black Americans saying, no, I'm good. You go get it out the mud yourself, homie. You'll be all right. Y'all not good. Y'all not used to that. So I guess maybe that's what you were seeing as black power. Ain't it a beautiful thing? Isn't it a beautiful thing to see black Americans using our power for ourselves and not everybody else who will turn around and take our black power and then go empower themselves? That is beautiful. And I would imagine it is pretty scary for you because y'all not used to seeing that. But get used to it because the best is yet to come, baby. I promise you. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra Kaye Show here on YouTube. Peace.